Go on the phone lines now and speak to Billy Anaglate, who is a Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Service, and I'm sure he's been at Circle this morning. I saw him. Can you first of all confirm the number of deaths at the filling station?
Hello?
Mr. Anaglate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Great. Can you confirm to us the number of deaths at the filling station in Circle?
Well, it is very difficult to confirm the figure as of now because of various figures that will be coming from various agencies. What we are doing now is to rely on the various mortuaries where we have sent those dead bodies. Then they will give us the update of the exact figure that they have recorded at their various mortuaries. Then we can do the total and come out with the exact figure of the deaths that we retrieve at the Boy Police Station.
I've heard the President describe this as a national disaster together with other ministers of state. Can you give us extent of magnitude of this disaster?
Well, actually, if you look at the number of people that perished in this disaster, yes, you are tempted to rate it as one of the major disasters that we have ever had in Ghana. However, if you look at the facilities, in terms of facilities that have been damaged or destroyed in this situation, regarding the various facilities within the area where this disaster has occurred, those that have been protected, then you compare it to the area level, then you come to say that it is a minor disaster that has before that Ghana has ever seen. However, we only want to say that even that, we will only say that some of these disasters, like what happened yesterday, could have been prevented or reduced to the barest minimum. Whether it is a major or a minor disaster that we have even seen yesterday or today. So,
how far
it has occurred, as I claim, a lot of lives, the actual facilities that have been destroyed in this disaster are at the minor level.
How far have you gone with the rescue operation? I have seen, for instance, that most of the adjoining houses close to the Gore filling station have also been affected by the fire outbreak. Have you managed to rescue everybody?
We were not able to rescue everybody, though, but we were able to rescue those that actually, when we got there, they were on top of those residential apartments, and they were wailing and crying. We were able to rescue those. At least 10 people were rescued from those residential apartments. Some of them were not actually affected by the fire at the time that we rescued them. Some also received various degrees of burns, and they have been rushed to hospital. As a few minutes ago, before you called me, I saw a few of them that has returned to this area, and they received some treatment. So, though we were not able to rescue everybody, because in some of those residential apartments, especially the one that has a pharmacy department, pharmacy shop below the residential apartment, where we retrieve a lot of dead bodies within the pharmacy shop. Those that were within the pharmacy shop actually were affected before the fire service got in there, because that was exactly where the fire got into earlier on, before even sending to the upper terrace. So those that were below the residential apartment, which was the pharmacy shop, were actually not able to rescue those ones.
Mr. Anaglate, it's normal that at this time you'd have friends, families and relations coming in to try and ascertain whether their relatives may have been involved in this disaster. How are you dealing with the bodies to ensure that there's not a mix-up so that people can easily identify the bodies of their friends, loved ones?
Well, that's a matter of fact. They were human beings that have just even lost their lives. We are still treating them as though they are one of the people that still are alive. So the condition and the situation at which they were before we were able to locate them at the various positions, we were able to ensure that we preserve them in those positions, that if those that can still be identified are maintaining that level, except those that cannot be identified, and then they are bent to the level that they could not be recognized. That one we could not do anything. But those that received some burns and have lost their lives through that, we'll be able to maintain their recognition. That anybody, any family member that gets in there will be able to recognize. That is how we'll be able to send them to the various hospitals where actually the relatives, anybody who lost a loved one or somebody, could go in there and then find out, to see and to identify. So really the treatment given to them, the way we handle them, has not disfigured anybody that could not be recognized.
Right, Mr. Nagate, my very final question to you, and pardon me for my curiosity, but do we know what may have started this fire?
Yes, exactly. This fire was fire that clearly we could say exactly what caused this fire. Because from the eyewitnesses that we interviewed, and based on raining, a lot of people took shelter at the Goa filling station. But as it continued to rain, the running water kept rising. As it was rising, it got contaminated with the fuel at the filling station. And though not all the fuel that are mixable with water, so those that are not mixable with water actually was floating on the surface of the water, and then because it is a running water, it was able to pick fire from a distance and brought that fire directly to the Goa filling station, where already the evaporation and the environment was so rich with other fuel content, the compound within the area. So it was an explosive fire that was brought from the source where they picked the fire. So that fire, there was no way that anybody would be able to have the opportunity of trying to run out of that fire. That was how all of them were trapped in there, not a single one being able to get out of it. So the fire was actually caused by the fuel that has gotten contaminated with the water, the running water, that picked fire from a distance.